Would you date you?
This is the question I recently asked a friend who has been on the market looking for a partner but unsuccessful for many years. We'll explore this topic and more on my trip to St. Mary.
So we're on road trip mode, or in road trip mode today, and we're heading to the beautiful parish of St. Mary here in Jamaica. And this is a charity run, but as you guys know, there's a lot of things I do that I don't publicize, I don't share for different reasons, which is why my foundation is called GOFFAH, which is GOOR. It means give without recognition, which basically means that we are going to give everybody who is involved, but we don't want to be recognized. So this is one of those missions. But you know what? I'm going to take you along and show you Jamaica and its beauty, because St. Mary is a beautiful parish, and not share the mission, because that's more private. If there's ever a time to share it, I'll do so, but I'm going to take you along. Show you some roadway. We're driving through the mountains, which is one of the things I like, because if you know anything about me, you know I don't like highway driving because there's nothing to see, just roads. I mean, the beautiful mountains are there, but no vendors on the roadside, no jelly vendors that I can stop with, the cane vendor that I can, get some cane to refresh myself. And then, of course, the roast yam with the saltfish on the roadside. It's just not an experience. And at this stage of my life, when I'm almost 50, everything needs to be an experience. So we are in Robins Bay, and I'm headed to strawberry fields, and it's raining, however, so I'm hoping that I can at least show you how gorgeous this property is. Let me just show you some of the road. Not great, the best roads, but what you expect. You're in rural Jamaica. Get the expectations right. Narrow, but big enough that two vehicles can pass if they absolutely have to. And just a good off-road country rural driving experience. Now we're 6 minutes away from the property, and this morning I woke up to something that I want to share with you. It should take me about 6 minutes. It was actually women in Jamaica, which is, I suspect, an issue across the globe, who are having trouble finding good men, quote unquote good men. Now, I believe you need to be a good woman to even try to find a good man, but who determines if we're good? So the topic I wanted to talk about is, when you're out there looking for a man and you set the parameters and the criteria, which sometimes is a lot, you have to ask yourself this question: would you date you? And if you can honestly, without any bias whatsoever, say yes unequivocally to that question, then you are a good woman. But the problem is, some of us are biased. So sometimes we have to ask a friend, tell me why you would date me. And it could be a female friend, doesn't have to be a male friend. But if you have a male friend as a woman, ask him, what are my best characteristics? Would you date me? If so, what are the reasons? But even before you get to talking to a man about dating you, do your own assessment. So we are entering strawberry fields. Let's flip the camera here so you can see. That's a sign right there.
Let's face it, we all have a secret recipe for the perfect partner tucked away in our minds. But you may have set the bar so high that even a pole vaulting Olympian could not reach it. If you can identify, you might need to ask yourself, would you date you?
I'm hoping I can.
Reached your destination.
You know, guys, we use the GPS for everything, even when we know where we're going. So it's raining and I'm showing up impromptu. It doesn't look like anybody's here. And I was hoping I could have lunch, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's flip this back so you can see the view of the ocean. Just take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Now, trying to find the perfect partner introduces what is referred to as perfection paralysis. Imagine if your potential partner demanded a mix of Ryan Gosling's charm, Michelle Obama's intelligence, and the culinary skills of Gordon Ramsay. That just sounds exhausting. Yet many of us draft up this mental wish list, like the one I'm going to share later in this video, for a partner that reads more like a casting call for a blockbuster movie than the criteria for a real-life relationship. But what we don't realize is that perfection is a ghost. Hunting for someone who checks all the boxes can lead to a very lonely path, considering that perfect people only exist on TV.
So the rain isn't stopping, and obviously this Osmo Pocket device, it's not waterproof, so we're not going outside with it. So we're gonna have to come back another time. But let me finish telling you my story before, or sharing what my thoughts are before I start driving again. So in essence, what I was saying is, if you are struggling to find someone that you think is a good person to date, or somebody who is your ideal match, ask yourself the question, would I date me? What is it that you're looking for? So from my perspective, as I was saying earlier, I wanted someone who, I like men who have a fit look. They don't have to be buff or anything, but they cannot be saggy or shaky. So you can't be saggy or shaky. Frankly speaking, if when I was trying to meet my husband, I was in great shape, nothing like now, I probably wouldn't date me now the way I look. So you have to be that brutally honest with yourself. So then if you're expecting a man to be in good physical condition, or a woman to be, you know, in good physical condition, you yourself need to be, because you wouldn't date you if that's the case. The second thing is, a lot of women want a man who is doing well financially, prospering. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't let them fool you and tell you that, oh, you're a gold digger. As a woman, we were cultured to find a man. This is why in certain cultures still, the man has to take in the dowry, or dowry, however it's pronounced, and give it to the family of the bride, because the man should provide. It's coming from biblical times, right? It's nothing we made up. So whatever fancy names they're calling it these days, gold digger, there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants a man who is ambitious. A man who is wealthy, you don't have to go to that extreme, but you want somebody who can take care of you, because as a woman, you're supposed to take care of them emotionally. You're supposed to do, you know, what is required to complement the union. So if they're providing financially for you, you provide the home, you know, make sure that is taken care of, and the other needs, the kids are raised right. Or you can trade roles. It can be that the woman is the one who is working and bringing in the money, and the man is taking care of the kids and taking care of the home. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, if you are a woman looking for a man who is doing well financially, would you date yourself if you're not doing well? If you're not doing well as a woman, you wouldn't date yourself. But there's so many women out there who are looking for rich men, or men who can take care of them, but they're not doing the introspection and asking themselves if the question, not if, but would you date you? And the answer would be no, because a lot of these women who are looking for rich men can barely take care of themselves or pay their bills. So again, ask yourself, would you date you? And if too many disruptions, man. And if your answer is no to would you date you, you probably need to relax those expectations. Men, back to you. A lot of them are looking for women who are very attractive. And they're kind of hard to look at, frankly speaking. So men, you need to ask yourself the question, if that woman that you're looking for is attractive, would you date you? And your answer would be no, because you cannot, you need let me not say anything to offend anyone, because God made all of us. So I'm not going to call people ugly, but you may be hard to look at. You may have the kind of face, as I say in my book, that only a mother can love, right? But you want these hot girls. So if your answer is no, you need to relax those expectations, right? So, just questions around, some of us as women, we're looking for men who are doing a good job of taking care of their children. Yet we're not taking care of ours. So would you date you based on how you take care of your children? So we need to ask ourselves that question. And if we're honest, when we ask, would I date me? So you write down the criteria. So like, I was looking for a man who is a man of God. I was looking for a man who had a nice body, a man who was ambitious. I didn't need a man to be successful, because I believe I should be successful on my own terms and then find a partner to complement me. I believe that I became the woman that most of us mothers wanted us to marry. That rich man that they're trying to get us to marry, I became that rich man, or that, not rich, but well-to-do person. So I don't need a man to compliment me that way. But I wanted a man who was ambitious. So would I date me? Yes, I was ambitious enough. I wanted a man who had good relationships with his parents, his child. Was I doing a good job of that? The answer was yes. If I was looking for a man, for example, who is, I don't know, I can't think of anything, because my expectations or what I wanted from a man wasn't a lot. Because when you bring a lot to the table, you do expect a lot in return, but your demands and your needs aren't usually impossible or hard for you to find someone. And I'm not telling you ladies that you need to drop your expectations, but I'm saying, if you ask yourself, would I date me? And your answer is no, you need to relax that expectation for sure. So the question that you need to ask when you're having difficulties finding a partner, whether a male or a female, is, would I date me? And if your answer is no on a particular, character trait or a particular thing, because I've seen some of the list. When I talk to single females that I know who said, Odetta, you know a lot of good men, or your husband knows good men, can you suggest, or recommend someone? Can you hook us up? And I say, what are you looking for? The lists are so long. And when I do the investigation, I realize that half the things on the list, they don't live their lives that way. They don't have those characteristics. So how is it that you're expecting someone to have those characteristics? Because if you were in their shoe, you wouldn't date you. So how can you want someone to date you? And when I say that to them, some people take offense to it, right? Which is why I don't have a lot of friends, because skin tends to be too thin these days. So some people take offense to it when I say you're looking for a man that's well-to-do, can take care of you when you can't take care of yourself, and which means you wouldn't date you if you were on the opposite shoe, or if you were wearing the shoe of the man. Then they kind of do the introspection, and I say relax the expectation, and then yes, if you relax it, I can introduce you to someone, but most persons don't want to do that. So all that jibber jabber and confusing thoughts and rambling, ask yourself, would you date you? And if your answer is yes, you're ready to get the man of your dreams. But if you have loopholes or things that's missing, you need to do the introspection and make the necessary adjustments. I'm gonna leave because I was here chatting, hoping it would stop raining so I can show you this beautiful property, but we're gonna go back to from which we came, and I'll have to show you another time. So let's get back to driving.
So this is where I'm gonna leave this topic. It's essential to differentiate between what you need and what you want. Do you need someone who is kind and respectful? Absolutely. Do you need someone who likes pineapple on pizza just like you? Absolutely not. That's negotiable. If you desire a partner who is fit, as an example, start going to the gym yourself. If you want someone who is well read, hit up the books. Personal growth makes you a more appealing partner and might even help you to understand what traits are truly important in a partner. Do the introspection and ask yourself the question: are your standards promoting happiness, or are they barricades against it? Would you date you? And be honest with your response. Don't sugarcoat it.
Take a look at how beautiful this is. Just drive it along the roadside.
And when you ask yourself, would you date you? If your answer is no, it might be time to rewrite that list. And in the quest for love, remember that seeking a partner isn't about finding someone to meet a list of criteria. It's about finding connection, compatibility, and mutual growth. And in the words of a song I remember singing a lot from my youth, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself.